Yo, I got this problem.
What's your problem, man?
The gangs are ruining my life.
Well, we can help you with that.
Thanks, bro.
Warriors here walking, we're not just talking, looking out for the youth. Warriors here walking, we're not just talking, knocking on your door, knocking on your door. Warriors here walking, we're not just talking, looking out for the youth. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, knocking on your door, knocking on your door.
When you think about gangs, what do you think of? Do you think of the violence, the crime, the drugs, the prostitution? Do you think of that child who's been neglected, abandoned, abused? Living in poverty, suffering from hunger, this is reality to many children. When basic needs are not met, the child must learn to fend for themselves and survive any way they can.
I got involved in a gang when I was about 12 years old, or even younger than that.
I got involved in the gang when I was 10 years old. It was more or less just a bunch of boys hanging around just to do something. But as we got older, it progressed because of the money involved in being with a bunch of people that we could all pool together to drink or do drugs or do whatever we wanted to do.
With girls, it's kind of not like that. Like, girls have, I don't know, they're more respectful for each other, they're more there for each other. Then they're not there to prove a point, they're just there to, you know, feel that they're accepted and they belong to something.
I was living in those townhouses on 18th and 17th most of my life, and I know I was living in poverty and stuff, and I didn't have much to myself, and my mom was always drinking, and it was like I had to do the things that I had to do, like rob and steal, and like do B&Es to get food in my house and get like utensils even, man. It was crazy.
Because of not having a family around, like a parent to love me, like my mom to love me, my father just to be around, to show me things, how to be a man, I chose to become part of a gang because they were there for me 24 hours a day. But we'd always be together. And I think that's what I needed growing up, with someone there.
When I was 1 year old, I got abandoned by my mom, and she never came back for me. And I don't know, I think that's kind of a problem too, about my anger and that. When I'm drunk, I'm like totally pissed off at the world, and I just want to go kill somebody or get some frustration out or something.
For many of our young people, gangs are a natural part of their environment. There they find family, people to accept them for who they are and what we have forced them to become. The lure of money, safety, and power becomes something they're not ready for.
I was looking for something I could relate to. After a while, we ended up finding one another in our neighborhood and started hanging out and riding our bikes along the riverbank. For us, we were just kids. Like I said before, we were just having fun. Unfortunately, what we got ourselves into with this gang, see, it was never a gang, it was just kind of thrust upon us, and we had to live up to what everybody else was saying about us. Some of the things we did was selling drugs, running drugs. Some of my friends' uncles had girls who had worked for them on the street, so we would be responsible for them, making sure that they were at the places they were supposed to be at. How scared we made people all the time. I didn't realize the negative effects on them. Some of the kids that watched us growing up are now doing what we did before, exactly the same way. And I feel a little bit bad and responsible because I was the one who showed them how to do that.
When I went to jail, like, I turned 18 and all of a sudden I went to jail for 2 years and I didn't know what the hell to do there, and all these big guys are just walking around, and I'm just a skinny little guy just walking around, and I end up meeting all these guys, and they're like, "What's up, man?" And I end up getting caught up in all the stuff and drugs and everything in there. And they were my male role models. They taught me what to do, how to stay strong, how to keep your head up.
It's a training ground for some of the gang members. While they're in there, they essentially are given a choice either to be involved in a gang or else there's repercussions if they don't get involved. And that certainly does seem to develop them as gang members when they're in the correction centers.
Having these group of guys and girls around me felt like I belonged. I was, you know, some people wanted to be with me no matter what my faults were. They didn't look down on me. They didn't ridicule me, the way I dress or whatever, what I think, what I talk, you know. It was good to be treated like a human.
One of my most powerful experiences belonging to a gang was walking down the street and having grown men cross to the other side and then back again, like you would if you seen a dog on one side of the street. Now, when you're 15, 16 years old and that happens to you, that's better than any drug or any alcohol you can ever smoke or drink, because you have grown people doing something you want and you didn't even ask them to do it. They did it because they respected you. And the only reason why they respected you was because they feared you. If one of my own friends disrespected me, we would use him as an example to other gang members not to step out of line. Now these guys are supposed to be my homeboys, and here we'd beat them up. In gang life is real funny because in the public eye we're all united and we're bros to the end, but when the door's closed and we're all drinking, there's no loyalty at all because everybody's jockeying for the top position.
The drugs and alcohol become a welcome solution to ease the pain until it becomes the pain itself.
A drug dealer's role would probably be to distribute the drugs to who he can, where he can, whenever he can, and to introduce more people into the drugs that he's selling. The more people you can get hooked, the more of a network that you have going.
I was at a party and they're handing around these bunch of pipes that made out of glass, and it kind of looked funny. And once you do crystal meth, you're never the same. It stays in your system for your whole life. It totally changes the person you are. Like, I don't know, it doesn't make you be any better, look any better, or anything like that. It doesn't make you feel any better, I don't think. Well, not that I've tried it all the times. I've been doing crystal meth for about a year now. One day I was going in my house and I wanted some more crystal meth, and then I used my pipe and I put Javix in it because I really needed crystal meth, and I lit it up and it blew up on my face, and that's what stopped me from using it.
I need to go to treatment, I know that. I have to. I have a lot of demons left still that I thought I had dealt with, but they're still there, you know, like the abuse and being abandoned by my mom and dad, and just not having an outlet to talk to someone and keeping it all bottled up. It wasn't a good thing for me because it just drove me to do drugs so I could just forget.
The change started for me after I recklessly destroyed my mother's house. I felt guilty for what I had done, and I had suffered from an alcohol problem then. So I decided to check myself into treatment, and after 3 months of treatment time, I left. I started volunteering at a rec center and, you know, hanging out a little bit. What had happened was there was a reporter cruising around our neighborhood, and he wanted to get the life story of gang members and what it's like being in a gang. I did the interview, and it came out a couple months later, 2 great big pages of the Edmonton Journal about what I had to say. Now in a gang, that's the worst thing you can do, is rat out what you did. I never said anything about names or what we did, but my perspective on gang life. I went into hiding for 2 weeks after that. And so I'm lucky because I'm able to sit here and talk to you about what's going on and what had happened. Some people haven't been so fortunate. The community can help young people involved in gangs by looking at the individual as a person and not as a gang problem. A gang is just a group of kids. Now, if you're to deal with one person who had influence over 5 people in that gang, and you made this young person turn his life around, those other 5 are guaranteed to go with him. And just treating him with respect, because sometimes we forget how smart our kids are.
There are a lot of people out there that they think that they're nothing, they like burnouts or something. There's people out there that have sparks, they can make fires, and you can't see it right away till you look in their eyes and like you see it right away. You're like, this guy has something in him that no one's seen before.
Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, looking out for the youth, looking out for the youth. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, knocking on your door, knocking on your door. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, looking out for the youth. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, knocking on your door, knocking on your door. Yo, check it. You think you own all the bandanas, but you gotta see it's like a jelly bean jar. I got to drop it all, don't know what is happening. I'm wearing the white for peace, it's going through my veins. I wear the blood going through another soul. That's why I wear the color red, cause it's so in emotion. I see the gray, the blue in the sky. I wear the blue for the night, going on the shiny damn. I wear the black carpet, I'm putting fun on my face. I don't know what it's gonna be, I've never seen a turn of mine. Always trying to hold it back. You wanna do something right, you gotta sit down, relax. You gotta sit together, hold it back in the timeline. That's all the word is living, listen to your fellow limitation, coming back to the soul. I never see my line. We gotta turn our minds, everything coming back. We gotta relax, we gotta respect. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, we're looking out for the youth. The youth. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, we're knocking on your door. Knocking on your door. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, we're looking out for the youth. The youth. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, we're knocking on your door. Your door. Yo, you see all the swearing going on, I'm saying shh to the gate. We just don't spit, trying to live it up. Don't know what it's gonna see like. You gotta give up the mess, you gotta stay at school. You gotta do the math skills to the ABC, to the Z. Now can't you see, that's how it is. You gotta sit down and relax and tell something about one time. You ain't gotta be who you don't wanna be. Do what's in your heart, do what's in the dream. I like to thank the warrior spirit walking, smoking, Jerry, Kathy, Matt, and Amy, and Steph and me. You gotta see what we gotta do when trying to give up the message. That's how it is. You gotta respect everything that your life gave you. Gave you in the world, gotta live it off. Mother Nature is the right way to be. You gotta see each other, keep it safe. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, looking out for the youth. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, we're knocking on your door. Knocking on your door. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, we're looking out for the youth. Looking out for the youth. Warrior spirit walking, we're not just talking, we're knocking on your door. Knocking on your door.